Hey there everyone, welcome back to GameVine. My name is David, and today we're going to be doing a two-part segment on coverage at Origins 2015. Now, I'm basically in the first video here, I'm going to go over everything I saw and what all publishers were representing themselves at said convention. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. First of all, at Origins, there were never any shortage of giant games. There were a lot. Go ahead, take a look at them. Okay, so the first publisher that we're going to talk about today is one of my favorites, Yellow. And they were showing off their newly picked up game, Dungeon Fighter. And they had all the expansions there, the Fire, the Ice, and the new one that Yellow actually did, which is the Wind. And the art looks the same. I think it fits really well with Yellow as a whole. But they did make some component changes. Not much, but the game looks beautiful. It's one of my favorites, and it was a good pickup by Yellow. They also had one of their newer games, Canito. That's just a party game that Yellow has. They also had all their other old stuff, like the book series, the children's book series. The newer one being the Ant and the Grasshopper. The other kids game, I guess you can call it, that they had was Master Fox. Now this has also been out for a little bit, but it's a fun blindfold game, and you're looking for chunky pieces. They had that there. Now, the new game that they brought to Origins is Pingo Pingo. Now, I had to pick this game up right away because it had a functional dart gun. And not only was it a dart gun, it was a nice dart gun, and it worked spectacularly. So I picked that one up, so look forward to a review coming up on that soon. The other game that they had there that they're going to be releasing at Gen Con is Medieval Academy. Now, this has been produced over, I think it's in France. But then Yellow picked it up to distribute here in the US, and I'm excited about this. Again, they didn't change the art, but they're probably going to change some of the components, so there's that. And so that's all of basically what Yellow had along with their other stuff. They were also running a lot of demos. They did really good with that, and they had a presence over there in the game hall as well. So that's Yellow. Right next to them was Arcane Wonder themselves with all their Mage Wars goodness, and they were giving out a promo each day, which was really cool. Crit was there. I got to shake his hand. That was kind of cool. They also had Sheriff of Nottingham there, which won the Origins Award for best. The council voted on this for the best board game of the year, and I think it's well deserved. Sheriff of Nottingham hits my tables all the time, so good job, Arcane Wonders. And the next company we'll get to is AEG. Now, they had all their older stuff, Love Letter and whatnot, all the reprints of Love Letter, but they had their Doomtown living card game reprint there as well. I know that's still relatively new, it's been out before, but they had that there in mass quantities, so that was nice, and they were representing pretty well there. The booth was decent. The next one I'll talk about is Habba, one of my personal favorites as well. They had a huge display, a lot of games that I didn't even know were out, like Wildlife, Lily's Favorite Clothes, which is another pink box Habba game, and Bubble Beth Bunny, I guess, and tons of stuff. You can see it right there. They even were giving out, or selling, Super Rhino capes, which was really neat. So that is Habba. The next one that we'll get to, which was right next to Habba, is Blue Orange Games, and I think that's a great segue. I love them together because they both have great kids games, but Blue Orange is actually trying to break out of that and have more mature games, like the one that I picked up, Dragon's Horde, so look for a review on that. Now, this is a pressure luck game where there's cowardice happening, and the knights are trying to dodge a dragon. It should be good. I can't wait to review that one. Prohiz was another game I didn't look too much at, but you can see in the video there. And the game that they had there, but they're going to release at Gen Con, and with a spectacular event, so I'm told, is the New York 1901. And this is kind of area placement game with different tiles. You're building on top of buildings. It got a lot of praise, and I'm pretty excited to see what that brings. So that is Blue Orange. On top of everything else they had a nice little deal with their Fast Track game, which was neat. The next company I'm going to talk about is Cosmos. Cosmos has had a lot of their reprints back. The Lost City game, card game, and the Dodals, which is a game that has some Play-Doh in it. You're making different shapes. I didn't look at it too much, but it looked interesting. The one that I was most excited about was Lost City, the board game. Ugh, it looks so good. I wasn't able to work it in my budget, but I really want this game. I'm so glad that Cosmos reprinted this, and they had a decent presence there. Their booth was a decent size, so good job to Cosmos on that. The next booth and or publisher that we're going to talk about is Angry Ducks Games. Now, they had the game that they released a little ways back called Student Bodies. Now, this is a humorous zombie game, and I think Angry Ducks is going to be one of those publishers that release humor in their games on a consistent basis. The other game that they were displaying there is their Kickstarter, which is either going now or is going to be coming in the future, and that is called Petri Wars, and it's basically what it sounds like. It's germs fighting over a Petri dish. So that is Angry Ducks Games.
You've received a new message at your private terminal.
8th Summit was also there. They didn't have much new that I could see. They had Run Fight or Die again, and I know that has been kind of hard to get at a fair price lately. So that was there, and I think they're pumping those out, and you can get it at the MSRP or better. They also had Agents of Smurf, which was there as well, game that I want to pick up. I have neither one of these. I'm really excited to get one. Again, my budget was small. The next publisher that I'm going to talk about is Brotherwise Games, and I have a soft spot for Brotherwise because I love both Brother 1 and Brother 2. They're very approachable people, and I know they only have the Boss Monster games under their belt and this cool statue that you're going to see. But I like Boss Monster. And Boss Monster 2, I actually backed that. I couldn't buy it. They had a whole bunch of these sleeve special editions at the Origins, as you can see here. I'm getting one of those, but there was some complication in the mailing process, so I can't wait to get that. Look forward to a review on that as well. Sean was at Mr. B Games, the producer and basically the head honcho there. He was displaying Spurs, the special edition, and the regular edition. The special edition had this really cool leather bag and 3D bullets. Now, if I was going to play Spurs, I definitely want to play with 3D bullets. The cardboards are cool, but it just doesn't give it the same feel. They also had a game called Realm Heroes. I don't know much about this. Had a samurai on the front, so I mean, this neat looking. Go ahead and look into that. I don't know if that was released at Origins or not, but that's also a game that they were displaying at Mr. B Games. Next up is Mayday Games. Now, Mayday Games has a ton of good things that I like, and they're getting better and better. They are pumping out coconuts again. It was again the base game was hard to find. It was a Korean game. And they're starting to reprint that, and they got that going, so you can get that at a good price. Coconut Duo was also out there with the green coconuts, though they had a pack of pink coconuts, which I picked up. Yay! So I like coconuts. They also had their new Kickstarter successful game called Viceroy there. That looks gorgeous. The other Kickstarter they had, Dead Man's Draw, which is really neat push-your-luck game I wanted to grab. Again, budget really hurt me. They also had the Chopstick Dexterity Challenge 3000, which looks fun. All those games I would play over and over again. Mayday is doing a good job, so keep up the good work, guys. Cool Stuff was also there with their great prices, tons of shelf. So I don't have much to report there other than the fact that they were given linen bags. One of the few companies that were given linen bags. Notes to companies. The plastic bags break within the hour and they hurt. You will not know how much appreciation you will get from a client if you give them a linen bag. I mean, they will praise you and they'll thank you in the future, and they'll probably keep that bag as well. So it's good advertisement. It might be a little more pricey to produce, but I think it's the way to go in these cases. So good job with cool stuff, giving out those cool bags and all these cool prices in the shelf. Calliope Games is next. They had all their old stuff, and they were doing Roll For It, Suro, and all that. Nothing too new. They were talking about their Titan series, though they had a giant Roll For It, which I played the actual designer in, and snaked out a win. Now, it was close throughout the whole thing, and it came down to one card that we were fighting for, and I got that 6. So, thank you for playing with me, sir, and that was a bunch of fun. And so that's basically Calliope Games. The next publisher that I'm going to talk about, they were a big smash, and that is Cryptozoic. They had Spyfall at Origins, and I got there on Friday. They were selling Spyfall Wednesday, Thursday, and sold out. I want Spyfall so bad, but they assured me that it's going to be in stores relatively soon. By the time you watch this video, you might be able to get it. Get that game. It's really fun. They also had stuff like Power Play, the hockey deck building game, the Brave Warriors, which are based off that IP with the cat ladybug thing, and they had the Spell Wars as well, the new one, or I think it's a standalone game or an expansion or whatnot that looked really neat. They also had Adventure Time. Now, I like Adventure Time CCG. It hasn't picked up enough steam, though they came out with the other starter set, which has the Ice King and Mercilon in it. I can't pronounce her name, the vampire. And those are the new starter decks that came out, and these come with hero cards. And they actually released another small expansion, which consists of these big, giant hero cards that each have a special ability, like Finn's on there, and in the new deck, Ice King and the Vampire Lady actually get their heroes, and you can buy the other pack which has all the past heroes and more on it. Now, these have special powers in it, so you have a consistent power throughout the whole game with the corresponding hero. Now, you can play Finn with the Finn deck, or you can play Finn with the Jake deck. So I thought that was interesting. This might help it start to get the ball rolling and get more people into it, because I would like to play this game a little more. So that was Cryptozoic. They were big time at Origins. Crash Games, they were also there. They had the Yardmaster games, the Pay Dirt, and the reprint of Castle of Verona. I'm gonna pick that one up. It went out of print for a little bit, was pricey, but now it's here for everyone to get. So that was Crash Games. Rio Grande also was there. They had all their old stuff, Dominion and whatnot. They also had the newer game, A Roll for the Galaxy, which is exciting. So they had a big stand. They always do. So that's Rio Grande. Gloom had a stand as well for the game Gloom. The art's gorgeous, so their stand was just beautiful. It was just plastered all over the place. The ink, dark ink art was on all the boxes. It was just a beautiful stand and a sight to see. The other game that they had there was 3 Cheers for Master. Now, I didn't look too much into this one, but it seems like another humorous games along the line of Gloom, and you're cheering for your master. So, that's Gloom. R&R had a booth, a lot of their old party stuff, the Cup and Cup, or whatever that's called, and the Hearts of Attraction, all that jazz. They also had the Spit It Out game that's relatively new, which is a party game where you're trying to answer the questions in the same vein, but not the right answer. It's something I picked up and look forward to a review on that. I'm excited to do that. I like party games. R&R also did a cool sale type thing. They had a wheel that you spun. You either got a free game or a discount on your whole purchase. I love when booths do this. Really gets people to come to their booth and buy their games. I think it's a smart thing for publishers to do, so keep up the good work on that R&R. Ninja Division also was there. Now this is the publishing / manufacturing portion of Soda Pop Mini, and they came out with a expansion for their Super Dungeon Explorer called Forgotten King. Now this flips the game on its head a little bit. It adds an arcade mode where you don't have to have an overlord and the monsters are pre-programmed, and that's kind of neat. And it's like a gauntlet game. And I like this a little better than the actual base set, so I'm looking forward to picking that up as well. So that is Ninja Division. Stone Blade game, the makers of Ascension, had the expansion there, Dawn of the Champions, and The same with Adventure Time having hero cards. This happens as well in the Dawn of Champions. You got your champion with consistent power along with your deck building. It looks vibrant, very light, which isn't the pattern of past Ascension expansions. They also had a game that they're going to be bringing out at Gen Con, but they were demoing it at the Origins here, called Bad Beats. And this is an interesting game to come out after Ascension. It's a cartoony, childlike art, though I like it. It's very clean, good lines, but it's a bluffing game and you're trying to get rid of all your beats. I didn't play it, but I got a good run through of it, and it's going to be about $15 at Gen Con, so I think it's going to be a good pickup. So, good choice on that Stoneblade. Renegade Games, they were there as well, with games like Word Whimsy, their other game, Double Feature. Now, I didn't look into Word Whimsy. Double Feature is a party game where you're trying to give clues and name movie titles and whatnot. The big thing, other than Gravwell, because I love Gravwell, at the Renegade Games booth was lanterns. That sold out on, I think, Friday or Saturday. I wasn't too excited to buy this. I'm going to pick it up, but it seemed that this was a big smash at the convention. A lot of people like this tile lane game. The next publisher that I'm going to talk about is Rather Dashing Games. Now, they had a lot of their old stuff. They had their newer game, the Pirates, Ninja, Robots, and Zombies. I played that and got Team Zombie. It was fun. So you're just laying tiles down, trying to get area control mechanisms going. They come out with beautiful art. I love their artists, and he is one of the Taps guys from the that Ghost show, which was awesome. But I digress. They had the other game on that same note, Ghost House. I didn't see that, but it looked really neat, and I'm looking forward to picking that up from Rather Dashing. Now this one I'm really excited about. Z-Man Games has a branch off them called Pretzel Games. Now, they don't have any games out yet, but they have promise. The game that I'm showing you right now is called Flick 'em Up. Now, this is a chunky wood dexterity game about a Western that has a campaign. What? I'm interested. Now, they're going to be releasing this at Gen Con. Note that these buildings are supersized, and if you look and see one that's similar, you'll see the actual size, but even then, they're really chunky quality production bits. So I'm going to show you a shootout right now. Take a look and see how that goes. That was fun, right? I mean, super excited. Plaid Hat is the next one I'm going to talk about. They had their Dead of Winter there, so I know that's been kind of hard to pick up. Everybody has loved that game, so it was there at a reasonable price. They also had Spectre Ops, which a lot of people played for the first time, I noticed, and loved. It was a big smash at the con. The other one that is going to be released at Gen Con is Isaac Vega's Ashes. Now, this game looks beautiful. And I'm skeptical when games put so much production into the art because you think maybe there might not be a game behind it, but I was told otherwise by plenty of people that demoed this game. So, great art with a great game behind it. I'm excited. I want to be getting this at Gen Con. Fireside Games is the next one I'm going to talk about, and they had all their old stuff, the Castle Panics and the Bears, but they had their newest expansion, the Dark Titan, going pretty often there, and that's a good one. The boss there is pretty challenging if you want it to be, so keep up the good work there, Fireside. Nothing too exciting, but they're staying consistent. Now, Upper Deck is interesting because their game was plastered on the lanyards and had huge advertisement billboard at their booth, and it was Bring Out Your Dead. Now, I picked this one up just because of all the hype, and it's actually a decent one, but I don't want to give up too much of my opinion. Go to the review to see exactly what I think about this game. The other stuff they had there were the legendary games. They even have a Hello Kitty thing that I looked at for a second. But yeah, Upper Deck had a huge presence there. The other publisher that was there is Cool Mini or Not. They didn't seem like they had too much going on new-wise. I didn't talk to them to see what was coming up, but they had all their goodies, Chaos Ball and Zombie Side, but they had a whole bunch of cool miniatures. Take a look. Yeah, so I don't know what those were for. My time was limited. I had to film and go, but those look nice, right? And the next publisher that I'm going to talk about is Dice Hate Me Games. And before I do so, I want to give a huge thank you to Stephanie Straw for being such a great conversationalist and so nice and helping me get through that that new Kickstarter that I'm about to talk about. It was a bunch of fun, so thank you so much for that, Stephanie. And what they had there was their newer Kickstarter release, Bottom of the Ninth. It looks really cool. It has cool meeples, and it's portraying just one half of the end of a baseball game. It looks really neat. They also had all their rabbit games, but the thing that I'm most excited about, and I'm just said about the Kickstarter that I'm going to be backing, is the Monster Truck Mayhem. Now, I played this, and it was just frantic fun. It's a real-time dice chucking monster truck race. And everyone's rolling these 3 dice. Each truck has their own different ability, so it's slightly asymmetric. As you can see here, the board is huge. Now, they were talking about making it modular so you can make different tracks. So, as any Kickstarter, this isn't the final product. Keep an eye out for this one. It looks a lot of fun. Alrighty, so the next one that we're going to go to is Ezra Games. Now, I didn't see too much. They were really displaying the Catacombs reprint, which looks fantastic. I love the art direction they took with this because the other one, the prior game, was very monochromatic and the art was a bit stale. But they reprinted this and went a whole different direction with the art and the components are different. I've always wanted this game, and now I want this game even more. So thank you for reprinting that the way that you did, Ezra Games. The other one that I'm going to talk about, and I don't know if I really want to, but I'm going to anyway, is Table Forge LLC. Now, this publisher only had the one game, and it's called Iron and Ale. Now, it perked my ears when I heard this game was about dwarfs. I love dwarfs. That's my favorite fantasy race. This game is about dwarfs drinking and getting treasure. So, it's more of a party game, though. It's a drinking game. Quite literally, a drinking game. You'll be getting up, running, doing tasks, drinking while something else is going on. But one action has you slap somebody else in the face. That's going a little bit too far for me. I like party games, but not to that extreme. As you can see, I'm a small guy. I have a ton of big friends that would love to smack me in the face really hard, but I'm not going down that alley. So if that's something that you're into, go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to pass on this. The other company that I'm going to talk about is Gangrene Games. Now this is interesting. It's another toy gun. The game that they had is called Shoot Your Friends. Now this one is a electronic functional gun, and you're flipping cards, shooting your friends. It's kooky, fun, fast-paced. I got it, so look for a review on that here soon. And this was a year of the toy gun. Now there are only 2 games that came out with toy guns this Origins, but I don't have one game that has a toy gun, so that was pretty interesting. So I'm calling this year the year of the toy gun. This is another publisher that I think they're going to stick with a humor style of design in every one of their games, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. I like humor. And the next company that I'm going to talk about is Gameling Games. And besides that cool knight that I was walking around, they had all the tiny epicness you could just handle. They had the Kingdom, the Defenders, the Galaxy. They also had the tiny epic Hero's Call that they're going to be kickstarting here soon. My friend Tony actually was demoing a lot of games, and I wish I could have demoed the Hero's Call with him, though I watched him go through a few, and he's such a good teacher. Keep up all that awesome work, Tony. You know who you are. And that is Gameling Games. The next publisher that I want to talk about is Japanime Games, and these are the people that do Crossmasters. I'm sure another season came out. I didn't look too much into what's new there. I was just in awe of the like deluxe pieces, and they had a really good sale on the past season. So if you like Chaos, if you like Crossmaster Arena and you want more pieces, definitely go to a con. You'll drain your wallet a lot, but you'll get good deals on that. So that is Japanime Games. The last publisher that I want to talk about is Eagle Gryphon Games. Now they did the same thing as R&R, and they offered a discount based on a game, which is really neat. Now this was even cooler than the wheel that R&R did. They have the tumbling dice set that they're going to be launching via Kickstarter very soon, and you throw the dice down and you times a pip by the floor that landed on, and that's how much of a percentage that you'll get off your whole purchase. And it went all the way up to 24, which is great. Again, I love that kind of stuff. And they didn't have anything like new, but they did have the baseball highlights 2045, which I wanted, but again, my budget didn't allow. They also had all the Roll for the Ages games at a good price. They had all the bookshelf games, which I picked up a lot of those at fair prices. Any games that you are having trouble finding from Eagle Gryphon, go to a con. You'll get them for a great price. Botswana was $25, which is really neat. So I also seen the bookshelf games like Money and High Society, and these little deck boxes that are about this big, and they were only going for $5. Now I didn't want to buy a copy of a game that I already had in a smaller box, but if you're watching right now, Eagle Games, send me a few of those so I can show off this cool concept that you have. So they have all these card-based games in these little deck boxes, and they keep it at a fair price. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, keep doing that. That's awesome. And there was much more that I couldn't cover. I was gaming and going through the aisles, but I think I got a big portion of all the publishers that were there. The last few things that I want to talk about are the game halls. Now, the game halls are huge. They have a portion where you can pay $20 and you can have these nice tables with nice tablecloths, and you don't have to worry about table space or whatnot. But they also had a big portion of the room that were just set up with these big wood tables that you could game on for free. Now, I heard that Splinters tagged a few people while playing these games, but I think you really don't have to spend the $20, and there was plenty of open space in those free areas. All you have to do, like my friend Patrick Hiller did, was bring a tablecloth from home, or just go buy an inexpensive one, and you're Splinter free, and you have $20 extra in your pocket. So the convention wasn't crazy busy, and there was always space for gaming in the free area. There were tons of miniatures and games going on in this room, but it was pretty impressive. I mean, that's what you do when you go to Origins. You play a lot of games. The last thing, though, that I had fun with was the Dice Tower show. This was my first Dice Tower show, and it did not let me down. The guys were on point, even though you could tell that their faces were just flushed. They were wore out because they were going all weekend, or weekend, working. But they put on a good show. Tom got silly stringed, and they gave out a ton of games in a contest. They really did a good job, and I was just really excited to be a part of it. Thank you so much, Dice Tower. I'm a huge fan. Thank you for all that you do. Keep up the good work. So that was everything that I seen and brought back from Origins. Now, part 2 of this video is going to be my opinion and what I think about Origins and what I did and how I felt going to it. Okay, everyone, so until part 2, I have been Dave from Gamevine, and have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. I'm out.